Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with a try a chapter to DNF. No, to unhaul. So I have a couple books that I am unhauling regardless, but these ones I had off in a separate pile just because I'm iffy on them. Part of me wants to keep them and try to read them. Part of me wants to not. So they were kind of in like a little limbo area, just kind of in like purgatory. I couldn't decide. So I thought a good way to combat that would be to do the try a chapter tag, but have it be for DNFing, or why do I keep saying that? Unhauling. So first let me just go through all of the books. So first I have The Unquiet Dead by Asuma Zahanak Khan. This is a book that I had to pick up for a world crime literature class, which was a very cool class, but this is a book that, because of time constraints and whatnot, we didn't actually get around to reading. I just am not really into detective fiction. I only picked it up for the class, but the only reason that I am considering keeping it even is because all the other books I read for that class were 3 stars or higher. So it's like I say I don't like detective fiction, but then for a class where I only read detective fiction, I really enjoyed the entire book list. So I'm like, maybe my professor had like really good taste. So I was like, maybe I should still give this a chance. Then I have The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. This one I think I'm actually just gonna go ahead and unhaul. I'm not really the type to pick a book if it's about sexual assault. So it's like, it's not a trigger for me necessarily, but I don't want to be reading about it, if that makes sense. It's just something I'm not interested in. Yeah, literally it's about her brother's best friend raping her, and like that's it. And her like going through the motions with that. And it's like, I just don't know if that's something that I want to pick up. It's different than if it was just like in the book, but it's literally like what the book is about. I don't think I'm gonna even try to read this. So I have An Arc for Falling by TJ Newman. You just boarded a flight to New York. There are 143 other passengers on board. What you don't know is that 30 minutes before the flight, your pilot's family was kidnapped. For his family to live, everyone on the plane must die. The only way the family will survive is if the pilot follows his orders and crashes the plane. Enjoy your flight. This sounds right up my alley, right? And I was so excited when I got an ARC for it because I was like, ooh, thriller, like kind of an interesting, like what's he gonna do? Like pick his family or like all these people? Like that's so fucked up. So I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. And then the world was like, here's a little spice, because I, over the past year only in the last year, have developed a fear of flying. I was never afraid of flying before. I actually used to love it. I was obsessed with it. And then I had a panic attack on a flight. And ever since, I have had a huge fear of flying because I associate it with that panic attack, even though I know that's like just association. I'm not actually afraid of flying. Like, I don't think the plane's gonna crash. I'm scared of having another panic attack. And so just the idea of flying freaks me out and causes me anxiety. So now it's, if you have anxiety, like bad anxiety, you know how that circle works. You know how that like fear starts. It's just exhausting, to be honest. And so now something I used to really enjoy and really look forward to, I associate with this like really bad experience. So I don't know, I've been hesitant to read this because I'm like, wow, is it gonna make my fear worse? Like, is it gonna make me actually fully afraid of flying? And it's like, it's all obviously close quarters and stuff. So I'm a little hesitant, but I'm also really interested in the actual story. Here's an ARC that I got unsolicited, and I've just held on to it because it sounds interesting. It's called The Genome Odyssey, Medical Mysteries and the Incredible Quest to Solve Them by Ewan Angus Ashley, MD, PhD. I love genetics. I love genetics. So stuff like this is very interesting to me. Using your genes to like solve medical problems is so futuristic. And I think that research is literally going to change medicine 100% in the next like 20 years. Unsolicited, but I've been holding on to it because I'm like, okay, but it's kind of like peak interest for me. But it also sounds kind of boring. Like, I don't want to read this big of a book on it. I don't know. This one's been on my shelves for so long, and I've been meaning to get to it, but it's at the point where it's like, if I'm not gonna read it in, like, if I haven't read it in 2 years, what are the chances of me reading it in the future? Like, slim to none, right? Another arc, this is True Raiders by Brad Ricka. This is one I was so excited about because it's literally like an archaeology kind of spiel. The untold story of the 1909 expedition to find the legendary Ark of the Covenant is based on a true story, but it's not written non-fiction. Here's the thing. I was super excited for this. I requested this. I asked for it. I was like, please send this to me. They did. I was freaking out. Super excited. But I tried to read this already. I read like the introduction and stuff, and I could not get my brain to even like focus on it. It seems so dull. So I've already read the intro, so for this I'm gonna read like chapter 1, and if I've already read chapter 1, which I don't think I have, looking at it, then I'll read chapter 2 and see if it like gets better or more interesting, because I was so excited for this, but it might be one where it's like I unhaul it and then I just wait for it to be on audio or something so I can like, you know, get through it a little faster. Then the last one is What the Hell Did I Just Read by David Wong. This one I got from B&N, and it was like on their like $5 deal or whatever, and I was like, this looks so fucking cool. Like, I just love it. Found out it's the second in a series. Found out you don't actually need to read the first book to read this one. It even says right here, another John Dies at the End shitstorm. John Dies at the End is the first one. They actually even turned it into a movie. Like, these are all so random, I feel like, right? I'm gonna read the first chapter of each of these. I'll update as I read, and we will decide which ones I'm going to keep and which ones I just don't have time for, you know? There's way too many books in the world. Life is too short. If I'm iffy on it, I'm getting rid of it. Okay, I really hope you can hear me because the like garden people just came. But I just finished chapter 1 of The Unquiet Dead. Like 4 and some pages, like 4 and a little bit. And I am going to unhaul this one. It's just very classic detective, and I'm not really into that. I was trying to think, so I was like, why did I enjoy the other ones that I read for class more? And honestly, like, the Tana French one was probably my least favorite, and that one was probably the most similar to this one in writing style and in topic, or like the plot, I guess, honestly. Not plot, but like just the order of things, I guess. But the other ones were like historical, or there was like some other element that I also enjoyed. It wasn't just like a modern day detective story. So I don't know, the writing style is very bland. It's very dull. Not a lot happened. I was getting bored even just reading these 5 pages. So I don't know. I think that's my thing with detective stories, is they tend to not be super, I feel like they're very dull. They're very slow burn. And like, if that's your style, like some people don't like a ton of like action, and some people love a slow burn, and like obviously that's why detective stories are so popular, but it's just not for me. I think I'm just gonna pass on this one. I think I'm gonna hold on to this one because it is action packed and it was interesting. I actually read quite a bit of it because we had the prologue, which was like 5 pages, where pretty much Bill, our main character, the pilot, who's getting like threatened, he has like a really bad dream where the plane is like pretty much going down and everybody's dying, and he has like no control. So he's been having that nightmare over and over again. He wakes up, and then like we're with his family, and he leaves to go to work, and there's this like repairman or something, technician, who comes, named Sam. So the technician comes, and then Bill leaves for work, and the technician like has a gun and stuff and is like, oh, like, you guys will be fine. Like, you guys being fine or not isn't up to me. Like, it's up to Bill. And then we see Bill go to work, and that's like really about it, to be honest. Yeah, we pretty much just see him go to work and then like get on a plane and stuff to fly it. Crazy how being a pilot works. I don't know, it intrigued me enough to hold on to it, to maybe give it a go at some point. The Genome Odyssey I'm also going to hold on to. There's a preface with this one where pretty much the author just talks about like his love for genetics and like where that came from, and kind of like what this book is kind of all about, and like his history and stuff, kind of. And then the first one is Patient Zero, dun, 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 which talks about literally like the first patient that they like started doing genome research with. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. It was interesting enough just because I do really have like a fascination with genetics. I actually know for a fact that my Hoopla has this on audio. So I might like get the audio and read it like together with the audiobook, because I feel like that would give a better reading experience. It was interesting. I did like what he had to say. I'm interested to see more about where this research is going, and I know there's an audiobook for it. Surprisingly to me, I'm actually going to hold on to this one as well. It turns out this is actually the third in the series. There's John dies at the end, then there's This Book is Full of Spiders, then there's this one. But people still said you don't have to read those first, but I was like, I feel like I should, right? I don't know, but my library does have John Dies at the End on audio, so maybe I will pick that one up, and if I like that one, then maybe I will continue with this one. This Book of Full of Spiders I don't see available anywhere, which kind of sucks, but it was funny. It was definitely a weird book. It was an interesting sense of humor. It's kind of like a horror comedy, which I've never read. I've watched movies like that, but I've never read, so I kind of am interested to see where it is going. It definitely kind of has that like ooh, I'm quirky and weird, kind of pretentious type of humor, which isn't my favorite. I am gonna hold on to it, give it a chance, and then if I get more into it and I don't like it, I'll just DNF it and then unhaul it. But I am gonna give it a shot, I think, because it was entertaining. No, I feel really disappointed. This was definitely like an anticipated release for me. I was super excited for this. I love Indiana Jones. I love archaeology. I love shit like this, but this just did not work for me. The writing style is really, really dull and boring, and I feel like this exact same story, like if you're going to write a story about literally an adventure to go find the Ark of the Covenant, it could be so action-packed and so interesting and so like fast-paced and intense, and like, yes, it's historical, yes, there's a lot of backstory, a lot of characters, a lot of things you need to know. I just still feel like it could have been done or written in a way that was more intriguing, considering what the story is and the fact that it is a true story. But it's just dull. I'm gonna pass on this one, but I'm not worried about it not finding a home. I think that other people will really enjoy it, whereas if it sits on my shelves, it's just gonna collect all kinds of dust. Okay, so total I am keeping 3, and I'm getting rid of 3, which I'm fine with. I honestly expected to get rid of more, but some of these intrigued me in ways that I didn't really expect. Like, I honestly thought I'd be getting rid of really this one, to be honest. These ones I was like always kind of intrigued, but I didn't expect this one to be like as funny as it was. And then the ones I am getting rid of: True Raiders by Broderica, The Unquiet Dead by Asuma Zahanet Khan, and The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. Not my type of story. Also, I'm kind of getting further away from YA in general, honestly. Unless there's like something really interesting or unique about it in terms of story or diversity or topics or something like that. This one, honestly, both of these actually, just very dull. Very dull writing style. Not something that I feel like would capture my attention. So, getting rid of these. They'll probably just go to a free little library, and I'm sure people will love them. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to give it a big thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!